Hey everybody, welcome back. We're continuing our reading of the Bible. This is the Jehovah's Witness version. We're in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 41. At that time, Moses proceeded to set apart 3 cities on the side of the Jordan, toward the rising of the sun, for the manslayer to flee there who says his fellow without knowing it, while he was not hating him formally, and he must flee to one of these cities and live, namely Bezer, in the wilderness on the tableland for the Reubenites, and Ramoth in Gilead for the Gadites, and Golan in Bashan for the Massites. That's interesting. Now this is the law that Moses set before the sons of Israel. These are the testimonies and the regulations and judicial decisions that Moses spoke to the sons of Israel on their coming out of Egypt, in the region of the Jordan, in the valley in the front of Beth Peor, in the land of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who was dwelling in Heshbon, whom Moses and the sons of Israel defeated on their coming out of Egypt. And they went, taking possession of his land and of the land of Og the king of Bashan, the 2 kings of the Amorites who were in the region of the Jordan toward the rising of the sun, from Aroer, which is on the bank of the torrent valley of Arnon, up to Mount Sion, that is to say Hermon, and all the Arabah in the region of the Jordan toward the east, and as far as the sea of the Arabah at the base of the slopes of Pisgah. Okay. Very just totally reiterated it for us. Basically everything we've learned from 1 to 4. Now we're in Deuteronomy chapter 5. And Moses proceeded to call all Israel, and to say to them, Hear, O Israel, the regulations and judicial decisions that I am speaking in your ears today. And you must learn them and be careful to do them. Jehovah our God concluded a covenant with us in Horeb, and it was not with our forefathers that Jehovah concluded this covenant, but with us, all of us alive here today. Face to face Jehovah spoke with you on the mountain of the middle of the fire. Remember, but the caveat here is that it says that here, but they meant the sound of voice in the fire, like fire, not literal face to face. Glad they clarified that. I was standing between Jehovah and you at the particular time to tell you the word of Jehovah, for you were afraid because of the fire, and did not go up into the mountain, saying, I am Jehovah your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slaves. You must never have any other gods against my face. You must not make for yourself a carved image, any form like anything that is in the heavens above, or that is on the earth underneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. You must not bow down to them or be led to serve them, because I, Jehovah your God, am a God exacting exclusive devotion, bringing punishment for the error of fathers upon sons, and upon the 3rd generation and upon the 4th generation in the case of those who hate me, but exercising loving kindness towards the 1000th generation in the case of those who love me and keep my commandments. You must not take up the name of Jehovah your God in a worthless way, for Jehovah will not leave anyone unpunished who takes up his name in a worthless way. Keeping the Sabbath day to hold it sacred, just as Jehovah your God commanded you. You are to render service, and you must do all your work 6 days. But the 7th day is a Sabbath to Jehovah your God. You must not do any work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your slave man, nor your slave girl, nor your bull, nor your ass, nor any domestic animal of yours, nor your alien resident who is inside your gates, in order that your slave man and your slave girl may rest the same as you. And you must remember that you became a slave in the land of Egypt, and Jehovah your God proceeded to bring you out from there with a strong hand and an outstretched arm. That is why Jehovah your God commanded you to carry on the Sabbath day. Honor your father and your mother, just as Jehovah your God has commanded you, in order that your days may prove long and it may go well with you on the ground that Jehovah your God is giving you. You must not murder, neither must you commit adultery, neither must you steal, neither must you testify to a falsehood against your fellow man. Neither must you desire your fellow man's wife, neither must you selfishly crave your fellow man's house, his field, or his slave man, or his slave girl, his bull, or his ass, or anything that belongs to your fellow man. These words Jehovah spoke to all your congregation in the mountain out of the middle of the fire, the cloud and the thick gloom, with a loud voice, and he added nothing, after which he wrote them upon 2 tablets of stone and gave me them. And it came about that as soon as you had heard the voice out of the middle of the darkness, while the mountain was burning with fire, you proceeded to come near to me, all your heads of your tribes, your older men. Then you said, Here Jehovah our God has shown us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the middle of the fire. This day we have seen that God may speak with man, and he may actually keep living. And now why should I die? For this great fire may consume us. If we are again hearing the voice of Jehovah our God any further, we are also certain to die. For who is there of all the flesh that has heard the voice of the living God speaking out of the middle of the fire, as we did, and yet goes on living? You yourself go near and hear all that Jehovah our God will say, and you will be one to speak to us. All that Jehovah our God will speak to you, and we shall certainly listen and do. So Jehovah heard the voice of your words when you spoke to me, and Jehovah went on to say to me, I have heard the voice of the words of this people, which they have spoken to you. They have done well in all they have spoken. If only they would develop this heart of theirs to fear me, and to keep all my commandments, always, in order that it might go well with them and their sons to time indefinite. Go say to them, Return home to your tents, and you stand here with me, and let me speak to you all the commandment and the regulations and the judicial decisions that you should teach to them, and that they must do in the land that I am giving them to take possession of it. And you people must take care to do just as Jehovah your God has commanded you. You must not turn to the right or to the left. In all the way that Jehovah your God has commanded you, you should walk, in order that you may live and it may be well with you, and you may indeed lengthen your days in the land which you will take possession. Well, honor your mother and father. No adultery. Don't become idolatrous.